we have 4 people.
Well, plus the alternate.
Yes,
Yeah, we got the
5.
alternate.
We have 5.
You can always count on the alternate.
You
this
might want to make
alternate.
sure you specify.
As a
that
previous
Len will be a
alternate.
voting alternate.
Well, some of the alternates don't work out quite as well.
Alan,
Yes,
it's on.
okay. Good evening, and welcome to the September 13th, 2016 ZBA meeting. I'll introduce the members of the board, starting with staff.
I'm Jonathan Rourke, the Planning and Zoning Administrator.
Hi, I'm Emily Sandblade, member.
Gayla Bruck, Vice Chairman.
Len
Kathy?
Kathy Hooton, member?
Len Stewart, alternate.
And Alan Yaton, chair. And good evening. We have one case this evening, but I want to take care of a couple of administrative things at first. There's a little message in reference to Goffstown Zoning Board is elected board of 5 members and up to 5 appointed alternates. We have one alternate this evening, and he will be a voting alternate this evening. Currently, the board has 5 elected members and 2 alternates. Everybody that is interested in serving on the ZBA, please see Jonathan O'Rourke, our planning coordinator and zoning administrator, for more information. The board has a posted agenda for each meeting and tends to follow the items in order. The board will open the public hearing on an application to receive testimony from applicants, abutters, and affected parties, and ask questions about the appeal. The public hearing will then be closed, and the board will enter into a deliberative session to discuss the merits of the appeal. Each application, the board will decide approve with conditions, deny, or continue to a later meeting. You are welcome to watch the deliberations this evening, or you can contact Jonathan O'Rourke at Town Hall to get the results tomorrow a.m. For an applicant to request to be approved, there must be an affirmative vote of at least 3 members. An applicant can request a continuance if there's not a full board, 5-member board to act on the application. Now, we have 5 members, so that should not be a decision this evening. If you are aggrieved by a decision made by the ZBA tonight, you have the right to appeal to the Superior Court. However, before appealing to the Superior Court, you must request a rehearing with this board to preserve your right to appeal. Rehearing request must be filed within 30 days of the decision and state all reasons why the decision was illegal or unreasonable. Failure to request a rehearing may forfeit your ability to appeal to the Superior Court. Amen. I'd like to... Anyways, I'd like to have everybody stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I
pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So if I were to go back to the minutes of July 12th, do I have any corrections, additions, or changes to that record of the minutes? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion, or do you have something in mind, Kathy?
No, I'm all set. I make a motion to accept the minutes?
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Emily seconds the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstentions?
Abstain.
1 abstention. Thank you. Then we'll move on to the case this evening. Rick and Janice Briggs, applicant owners, are seeking a variance to subdivide the lot into 2 lots, creating 1 lot that has only 123.47 feet of road frontage on a town-maintained road, whereas 200 feet is required. This concerns Section 4.3, Table of Dimensional Regulations of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The property is located at 476 East Dunbarton Road, map 12, lot 26-1, in the agricultural zone. We have an applicant and an engineer. Good evening.
How we do?
Would you introduce yourselves,
That
please?
was-
I'll make a motion to find the application.
I'll second.
Wow. Everybody's had me. All those in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 5-0, passed.
Evening, my name is Raymond Shea from Sanford Surveying, and I'm here with the applicant Rick Briggs. And we're here requesting variance to allow a new building lot with frontage of less than 200 feet. I believe we're asking for frontage of 123 feet. Let me give an overview of the project and then go into the questions.
Yes, please.
This is a approximately 15-acre piece of land located on the east side of East Dunbarton Road. Actually backs up to the Hooksett Town line. There's an existing house not too far off the roadway. And again, the property has about 323 feet of total frontage and extends a couple thousand feet, 1,500 feet back to the Hooksett Town line. There's some wetlands, a lot of uplands. It's not a bad piece of property, but again, it's restricted by the frontage. So we're requesting to create a new lot. The remaining 13 acres with the existing house would have 200 feet of frontage. The new lot would have approximately 123 feet of frontage and approximately 2 acres. Now, the plan we have submitted is an accurate depiction of the frontage and the house location. We haven't surveyed the entire property. We took the rest of the information from existing plans of record and some information from the town GIS. It's possible that if this board were to approve this plan tonight for the reduced frontage, then when we go forward and do the wetland mapping and the topographic survey, we may need to alter the size of the proposed 2-acre lot. So that's really, this is more of an exhibit for the frontage. The lot may end up being 3 acres, may end up being 3.5, don't know, depending on what the configuration of the, what the slopes and wetlands are. So that's more of an exhibit, that portion of the plan, but what we're requesting tonight is the frontage reduction. So if this board were to approve the frontage reduction, we would want to be clear that alterations to the lot size of the 2-acre lot may be possible or required once we go through the planning board process. I think that may address some of the thoughts we might have had before the meeting. So having said that, if you want me to go through the 5
Address the 5 criteria, please.
5 criteria kind of summarized on an additional sheet. Granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. The public would have no interest, nor would they be harmed by the allowance of a single-family home to be constructed on this lot as proposed. Number 2, the spirit of the ordinance is observed because the intent of the frontage requirement is to provide for a reasonable buffer between houses and help manage lot density appropriate to the area. There would only be 2 houses on 15 acres, which addresses the density, and the proposed house will meet the side setback requirements, which address the buffer between the houses. Granting the variance would do substantial justice because it would allow the owner the ability to have a reasonable use of 15 acres other than just one large oversized house lot. Number 4, the values of the surrounding properties will not be diminished because there are several properties in the neighborhood with frontage or lot widths less than 200 feet. This similarly reduced frontage lot should not adversely affect the surrounding values. Number 5, demonstrate that literal enforcement of the provisions of this ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. A, owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and a specific application of that provision to the property because due to the size of the original tract and the sufficient size of the proposed building location, the public purposes of the ordinance are protected and preserved. 2, proposed use is a reasonable one because it would allow the owner the ability to use his land similar to his neighbor's uses. 5B, if the criteria in the subparagraph A are not established, an unnecessary hardship will be deemed to exist if and only if owing to the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. The parcel is large in acreage, has significant wetlands in the rear of the lot, and has only enough frontage for the existing house. It would not be practical to subdivide or develop further with an internal new town road to create additional frontage. Those are my addressing the five. I do have copies of the tax map I'd like to pass around.
Certainly.
And they highlight, the existing parcel is in, the applicant's parcel is in yellow, and abutting parcels that have reduced frontage lots are in green. There's 5 copies there.
5 copies of the same thing?
Yes.
Thank you. The green is
Green
the,
are abutting existing
less than-
lots that I believe they have reduced frontages, 50 feet more or less, and the yellow is the applicant's property.
Thank you.
Just an example of some neighboring properties that were created with the reduced frontage.
Are there any initial questions from the board, members of the board? Yes.
When you go and start doing what you're going to be doing, if you have to alter the size of that 2-acre parcel, is it going to go less than the 2 acres?
No, it can't go less than the 2.
Well, that's why
minimum-
I wanted
That's
to be
minimum lot
sure.
size, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
know that.
it would go up if
Okay.
need be.
Okay.
is there a river?
There's a good-sized brook at the back of the property that runs south from Bow through this area into,
Whereabouts
I
would
think it goes under
you,
Cross Road.
whereabouts would you say that, about the back of the property is?
The back of the property is on the Hooksett Town line. So if I can stand
In the
front-
use of the,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to get on the mic, but this is East Dunbarton Road.
Yeah,
The existing house, the proposed lot, and the applicant's tract runs all the way back to, this is the Hooksett Goffstown Town line
Yeah.
here. And there's a substantial wetland, and it turns into a brook in this area, and I think runs down under Goffstown Road or Cross Road. That's where the brook comes out. And there's, according to existing plans and information, there's some additional wetlands. So there's a lot of upland, but it is kind of a spotty wetland in the area.
The back of that property is the Rod and Gun Club
Yep.
Right, correct. This
on
this
Hooksett Road.
property
Mhm.
is the ski.
That's a fairly large piece.
Mm.
you don't show the degree of elevations on this.
No, we don't.
When I went by it today, I thought that it did go down.
It drops off, yeah. And
Yeah.
I do have a copy of the town GIS, just as an example. Probably drops 50 feet over the course of that lot. It's fairly deep, but it does drop off to the wetland.
Do you know what the 100-year
There is no
flood plan
100-year
said?
flood in this area.
It does say it does say here that the parcels fall within the 100-year
I
flood
think part of
zone.
the back does. It doesn't come down through that brook, though. It's the isolated north, if there is a 100-year flood, it's in the northwest corner of the property. It's not near where there would be any building area.
The wetland is delineated on its site plan. And it's pretty wet back there.
Yes, if you,
It says visible water,
Yeah.
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 good part of the year.
And those are things that will certainly be looked at with the planning board. And that's why the lot may have to get bigger than 2 acres to accommodate the slopes and the wetland, but we're pretty confident there's enough area there to create this second lot.
Do you do any test pits?
No, we haven't done anything yet.
How
No.
about well radii?
You
got problems with that at all?
We've got wider than 150 feet to put a
Okay.
well back there.
Okay.
It-
And the septic setback, because I noticed it's
Right.
pretty close to the
Right.
property line.
Yep. We would,
Proposed property line.
right, and if we go beyond this step, then we would dig test pits, and we would have to meet all that.
Yep.
We can't, I don't think we can.
So there's certain geometry dimensions that he's still got to meet and
Right.
show to the planning board for his planning board approval.
Okay.
Any other members of the board have a question
Yep.
of the applicant?
I do.
Well, keep going then.
The garage that is in the setback next to the Laws property,
Yes.
did you, get a, how were you able to build into that setback? How were you able to build the garage into that
I
setback?
bought it like that.
Yeah,
You-
it's
It was,
been
it was purchased that way?
It was
Okay.
purchased that way.
there a while.
And the septic area was where it is
The
now when you
septic is,
purchased
it's a
it?
new septic, and that
Brand new
is,
septic.
there is an approved septic plan by the state, and that was installed there. And this new line meets the setback requirements. You only have to be 10 feet from the property line with a leach field.
Where is the, just out of curiosity, I was trying to figure out where the in-law apartment was.
It's attached to the house above the first set of garages that are
Okay.
attached to the house.
And the well, is that close to the front of the house?
Yes. Right, pretty much where that black dot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Emily, you have any questions of the applicant?
I don't think so. I checked out the topo maps beforehand, and I don't see a problem there. You know, as far as the elevation and how much space there is to the brook.
In this town, 50 foot of elevation is not a whole lot.
Well, I understand that, but it's actually a bit more than that. It's about 70.
It's,
the
that
brook.
water is way back, and it's down, away from the house we were showing.
Gail, anything?
I'm set.
Nothing? Okay. Kathy? I don't have any questions. We'll take a question. Is there anybody wishing to speak in reference to this application, either for or against? Nobody in the audience wants to say a word? Okay. Then, seeing none, do you have anything that you'd like to say again?
No, we just feel, this is it's a reasonable request for the property. And again, I just want to stress that, the frontage is what we're here for, and if we may need to alter the size of the lot. And
Okay.
so that if we get to the planning board, they don't look at this and say, oh, this is what you approved, we need flexibility in the lot size, but obviously the frontage we'll stick to.
I do have one more thing.
Yes,
Would
ma'am.
you be opposed to conditioning that it would be 2.059 acres or more?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
No smaller than what you see here.
Yeah, I'm, should I tell them why we're doing this?
Well, you could, yeah.
You can say anything you
Well,
want, please.
I know it doesn't matter for rules and variances, but I'm giving this property to my son for him to build a house next to us with our grandkids. So the lot size matters nothing to me as far as how big it needs to be. So,
Okay.
and that's my son sitting behind me, Danny. So,
Understood.
That was a nice comment.
thank you.
I'm glad you said that.
What's the minimum size that we have to have in this zone?
2 acres.
That's what I thought it
2
was.
acres in the
2 acres.
agricultural zone.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Okay.
I think 3 acres for duplex. That would be the only other consideration.
Yeah, but they're not trying to build a
No, they're not.
duplex.
Oh, they've already got the in-law apartment.
Oh, what?
That's probably where the sun is
It's
right
actually
now.
daughter-in-law apartment.
It's a family.
We've been there.
Yeah,
I think most of us have
that's how
been
it works in
there.
Goffstown.
Okay.
Lot.
Thank you. And I will close the public hearing
Thank you.
and open it up for a discussion in terms of proposing a motion on this particular case. Emily?
I propose that we accept it as is with the proviso that there's a minimum of 2-acre lot.
And that any refinements will be done by the planning board?
Yes, and that any refinements can be done by the planning board. We'll
I'll
shove it
second
off
that
on them.
motion.
Excuse me?
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion is made and seconded?
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
What I would like to say is that I particularly am in favor of this because there is a vast amount of acreage here that is unusable. And I don't feel that anybody who has a parcel of this size that has the restrictions of the wetlands and has the minimum requirement of acreage should be jeopardized from being able to subdivide it if the frontage is the only issue, because there's substantial acreage around that property. And that's my comment.
And there were no covenants, suggested by the applicant that would restrict his development? of the
Yes.
site? Yes.
Well, I also went and took a look at that property today, and it's my belief, based on the rest of the neighborhood, which, I'm very interested in what the rest of the neighborhood looks like, that this would not be out of character with the rest. And the property right to the south of this and right to the north of this has about the same density, the same frequency of housing as what they're proposing here. So it'd be really in keeping with that part of the street on Dunbarton. I think that it would fit in okay.
I think personally, I wouldn't, 6 months from now, after it was built, you wouldn't know where the property lines were. You'd seeing a house on that lot.
Yes,
It would look like it belonged in the neighborhood. That would have been
I think so too. Yeah.
And it's for
So-
his son.
Listen,
It's more for my grandkids.
Well, we understand that.
We couldn't use a helping hand starting out.
there's one of my 3 boys, 2 miles is too close.
Hey,
Then I will call the motion. All those in favor of the motion?
aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carried.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're good to go.
Thank you.
Very well.
You're a good dad and a good granddad.
Is there any other business to come before the board this evening?
No. Not even any correspondence?
Nope, nothing.
No correspondence?
Motion to adjourn?
No, nothing? Okay.
Good night. Have a nice evening.
Then I will take
Thanks
a
for
motion
coming.
to adjourn.
I just made it.
Second.
Seconded over here on the right. All those in favor say aye.
Bye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. See you in November.